Okay, so I'm going to teach you how to use the tappets. These are the ones that I like to use. These are the FMM brand. So anyway, I'm going to get started. So I get my fondant and I add some tylose to it, some tylose powder, just the hardening agent. So then what I do is I squish it down a little bit. I use my pasta maker, pasta machine. If you don't have one, that's fine, use a rolling pin. The trick to get a good result is to thin it out quite a lot. So for me, I like to use and roll it down to setting number 5. So start at 1, work your way down to number 5. Okay, so it's nice and thin. Okay, then what I do is I get my tappet and my piece of cutter, cut a little piece off like that. Then I turn it upside down, get my rolling pin, and then I roll. And then rub. And what I find, if I roll and I rub, I get a smoother cut. Okay, so you can see that there's no rough edges around there, a nice smooth cut. So then you flick it. Sometimes it needs a good couple of goes. Okay, that's not going to work, but that's okay. Let's start again. So what we're going to do, the other thing to do is, ideally, if you can, is let your fondant dry out a little bit for probably about 15-20 minutes. So you can powder that, give it a bit of a tap, and then do it again. So sometimes it works first go, sometimes it doesn't. Now with my rolling pin, I like to have one specifically just for this purpose, because you'll find that when you rub it and you roll it, it gets quite rough. So if I use that on my normal fondant, using it on cakes and things like that, it's probably not the best sort of result, because you'll get the rough coming onto your fondant. All right, so let's try this again. All right, so it started to come out. I don't want to flick it again because it's just going to wreck it. Okay, so that's the end result. Okay, so you've got nice smooth edges and you don't get that rough look. So again, ideally, you want to try and let your fondant sort of sit and dry out a little bit. If I left this piece here sitting for about even 10 minutes, I came back, it'll probably be better. It won't stick to that as much. So now I'm going to use the smaller ones. Again, squish it out, pop it through my pasta machine. Setting 1, setting 2, and then again I like to get to setting 5. You can go higher or lower depending on what you prefer, but for me I find that 5 works really well. Okay, so again, nice and thin, pizza cutter, and these ones are only small letters, so I only really need a small piece. Good thing about using the white fondant with the tylose is you can add lots of corn flour to it to dry it out, and then you'll find it won't stick anywhere near as much. So we might do the letter K. So again, upside down on the rolling pin, give it a roll and a rub just to cut those rough edges. Okay, so you got your K, and again you flick. And it started coming out. Okay, so then you got your K. So that's using the fondant that's still a little bit wet. The other thing you can do is possibly add more tylose to it if you really wanted to. But yeah, look, you don't have to. You could just leave it sitting out for a little while and come back to it. So this one's been sitting out for a couple of seconds. Let's try it on this one here. Pink one there. Roll, rub, peel, flick. It's already started coming out. Okay, so that's your end result. Okay, so it's simple as that. Rolling to 5, making sure you use drier fondant and your tylose, and you'll find that you'll get a really good result.